Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Good, Rich. How you doing, buddy?
I am recouped. It took me a couple days, but I am recouped.
Awesome.
Feeling good and ready to hit the week, man.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Juan. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Just I'm always excited to wake up to a beautiful day. There's just something about blue skies and sunshine.
Heck yes. I love it.
I think that's why Rich moved to Florida.
Had something to do with it. I'm glad you guys are getting your turn.
Yeah, yeah. It's about time. How you doing, Juan?
Doing well, bro. How are
Awesome.
you?
Oh man, doing great, doing great. Well, I want to go ahead and just kind of share some things with you guys that really spoke to me. When I think that a lot of times, we set out on a journey, whether it's real estate, whether it's fitness, whatever it is, we set out on a journey to accomplish things. And a lot of times, I don't want to say a lot of times, pretty much all the time, that you take a step forward, you're going to be faced with adversity. You're going to be faced with circumstances. You're going to be faced with, feeling like quitting or giving up. And, the one thing I realized, early on, is that quitting is not an option. And I saw, a couple people post some things, this weekend, that, kind of spoke to me about that. And, being involved in sales, being involved in business, being involved with, network marketing and other things, or even, being at the gym, we see that so often people start something and then they don't finish, and I'm guilty, in specific areas of my life, where, discipline has been, one of the harder things for me in certain areas, right? Because we're all disciplined in certain areas. In other areas, we lack discipline, but also, self-control, being able to control yourself in the sense of, how you eat or, your time, things like that. And I think even from a biblical perspective, I think, there's a reason why self-control is the last fruit of the spirit, right? Because I believe it's one of the hardest to obtain. But I want to read this. Portion of writing that I read this morning out of the John Maxwell Daily Reader. It's really good. It's 365 days of insight to develop a leader within you and influence those around you. And it starts out like this. The title is Self-Discipline. It says, author Jackson Brown Jr. equipped talent without discipline is like an octopus on roller skates. There's plenty of movement, but you never know if it's going to be forward, backwards, or sideways. If you know you have talent and you've seen a lot of motion, but little concrete results, you may lack self-discipline. It says to sort out your priorities. Think about which 2 or 3 areas of life are most important to you. Write them down. And along with the disciplines that you must develop to keep growing and improving in those areas, develop a plan to make the disciplines a daily or a weekly part of your life. List the reasons. Take the time to write out the benefits of practicing the disciplines you've just listed. Then post the benefits somewhere where you can see them daily. On the days when you don't want to follow through, reread your list. Get rid of excuses. Write down every reason why you might not be able to follow through with your disciplines. Read through them. You need to dismiss them as the excuses that they are. Even if a reason seems legitimate, find a solution to overcome it. Don't leave yourself any reasons to quit. Remember, only in the moment of discipline do you have the power to achieve your dreams. A nursery in Canada displays this sign on its wall. The best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. The second best time is today. Plant the tree of discipline in your life today. Begin a routine of regular, scheduled actions of self-discipline. And this really spoke to me because there's several areas of my life, that I'm really seeking to be, more disciplined in. But when I think about real estate and I think about business and I think about, the journey that all of us are on, right? We're all on a journey. We're all on it a little bit differently. We're all on it at a little different pace. Some of us are zooming like Amy. Some of us are rocking it out like Juan. Some of us are sitting on the beach like Rich, right? Some of us are thriving like Jamie. And, I don't know who else is on here. I think my wife's on here. So some of us are, being an awesome wife like my wife. But we're all at this, this thing we call life. And, we all have different commitments and goals and things like that. And the thing that I know, and some of us, probably don't display it, and some of us don't really know, when, others around us are going through different things. But, I think what it comes down to is really making a decision first and foremost, not to quit. Once a goal, or once a commitment is made for a goal, or something that you're looking to accomplish, is if you start off by first making a commitment that quitting is not an option. Will you have bumps along the road? Yes. Will you have days where you don't feel like it? Yes. Will you maybe even have a day where you don't do what you're supposed to do? Absolutely. But I think it's just continuing to move forward. And I'll give you guys a perfect example. Last September, I set out on a health journey where I began to cleanse, and I began to remove specific foods, from, my diet. I, pretty much went all natural or vegan. I removed meat. I removed a lot of, dairy and, all these other things. And, I felt really good, and I lost weight. But there was a part of me that, felt like something was missing. And so I kind of detoured back, and then I found myself recently, right back on the path, not all the way where I was back before September, but back to a place where my body hasn't been feeling as energized or as healthy as I want it to. And so I'm even though I made a commitment, and I guess I've been on this journey for the last several years of health, because I've changed my water to alkaline water. I've, been taking supplements and vitamins, and I've, over the last several years, began to move in the direction of a healthy lifestyle. And, like John Maxwell said, picking 2 to 3 areas of your life that you really want to focus on, and I rewrote 3 areas of life, this morning before this call that I really want to focus on. Number 1 is my health. Number 2 is my spiritual walk. And number 3 is my finances, and it doesn't mean that everything else outside of those 3 are less important. But what it means is there's 3 areas that I see that I really need to focus on and make a commitment to, because a lot of times when we focus on 2 to 3 areas of life, those areas will pull us closer to goals in other areas, right? Number 1, health, right? Health and fitness usually makes a lot of other things outside of health and fitness better, right? Your relationships, because you feel better, business, because you have more energy, things like that. And so, and then obviously your finances, allow you to, be able to, do more and things like that. And then obviously your spiritual life, to me, is the core. And when you have that, locked and loaded, and you're really pressing in and, having a discipline and balance in your spiritual life, that transcends into everything else. And so the reason I say all that is to say this, that, each one of us today, woke up this morning. It's a brand new week. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. And what are we waking up to go do? What is the goal today? What are we committed to today? What is it that we want to accomplish today? And it's like it just said in the book, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, but the second best time is today. And so I want to encourage everybody with this, is that, maybe you've, I don't want to say given up on something, or maybe you're not as committed to something that you want to be, or maybe that there's an area of your life that is lacking, that that you really want to focus on and get back to. Well, guess what? It's not too late, and today is a brand new day to start those things. And so I'm getting ready to make some commitments. The Lord's been speaking to me about some areas of my life that I really want to get more disciplined in and committed to. And I really want to encourage you guys to do the same thing today. So look at your life, and what I would encourage you to look at the 2 to 3 areas of your life that you want to improve in through discipline, and make a commitment today that you're going to move towards that. And it even says, and I already started to write these down, it says to It says to, sort out your priorities. Think about which 2 or 3 areas of your life are most important to you. Write them down along with the disciplines that you must develop to keep growing and improving in those areas. And then develop a plan to make those disciplines a daily or weekly part of your life, right? And then list the reasons, right? What are the benefits of practicing, those disciplines that you've listed? I want to acknowledge Juan, because this guy's a beast. I see him in the gym every day, and it motivates me and encourages me. And most people don't know, but Juan posted a picture of himself. I don't know how many years ago it was, but it didn't even look like Juan. He was much more, heavier, and didn't look like him. And he's made a commitment over the last however many years, for his health, and it's transcending into every other area of his life. So Juan, I appreciate you being an example, in that area, buddy. And that encourages me. So that was it, guys. I just want you to know that once you make a decision, move forward. And I'll tie it back to what I was saying. So back in September, even though I went on a 2 or 3 month, journey of really having discipline and focused on, certain things, even though I've kind of got off path again, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The second best time is today. So I'm making a commitment to get back on track and continue to move forward. Most people, they don't get back on track because they walk with, shame and guilt or discouragement that they started something and didn't finish, like most people in the beginning of the year, get a gym membership, and before the 30 days is up, they quit, right? And they never go back. They just think, oh, well, I screwed up, I wasn't consistent, so I might as well just give up in its entirety. Well, that's not the case, because you can restart anytime. So I want to encourage you, Rich, Juan, Jamie, Joy, and whoever 248 is, I think that's Amy. Go out and dominate today. Analyze your life. What are the 2 to 3 areas that you really want to see growth in, commitment in, and really work discipline into, and just go out and make it happen. I really appreciate you guys. I'm really excited, about decisions that I'm getting ready to make in my life, and I'm sure, you guys are already working on areas in your life that you want to improve. But I hope that this encouraged you today. I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to post it in the group so that you guys can read it. But make a commitment today, to take things to the next level. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, no, nothing. I'm just, I was looking for the screen.
Oh, okay, because you came off mute. I thought you had something to say, but I'm sure you got a word of wisdom. Go ahead and share something. You got something, Rich?
Yeah, I can just say this, that, that is everybody's issue in life, is that we will let the tyranny of the urgent outweigh the things that are important in life. Life has a way of doing that. And so to post that on the wall, to keep that in front of your eye gate, to constantly stay committed to what you started to is something that everybody needs to do, because, again, life can just get overwhelming at sometimes and crowd out the important things. I remember one time in church, you would see the same people go up Sunday after Sunday after Sunday to the altar to deal with a certain issue. And to me, that was discouraging for a while. And I was like, man, why don't they just deal with it and get it out of the way? Why don't they just make a commitment? Why do they keep? I was being very judgmental, to be honest and transparent with you. That the same people would go up to the altar Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And I was sharing that with my father-in-law. And he says, well, Rich, did you eat yesterday? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, why did you eat today? Well, because the food yesterday isn't keeping me empowered, or isn't giving me strength for today. And that's the same thing with these commitments, is that, the decision of yesterday was just yesterday's decision, but it's the fact that you have to wake up every day and eat again. You have to wake up every day and make that decision again. It isn't just a one-time commitment. It's the taking up the cross daily and following him and the visions that he has for you. So, a lot of times we let the tyranny of the urgent, we let our exhaustion, we let our distractions cause us to not choose again today to stay committed. And I think a lot of times we feel like we can make a commitment today and that'll last us tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and it doesn't. You have to make that commitment every day. You have to choose to walk forward in that commitment every day. That's why it's so important to write it down, so that you're reminded to make that commitment again today. So, yeah, I just want to reiterate everything you said and how important that is.
Amen. And, I appreciate you sharing that, Rich. And, the goal is, I'll even give you guys an example. Christopher John, who some of you guys met for the first time last week in the meeting, others already know him. I started down the journey of empowerment with him, about 5 years ago. And like you just said, the urgent of now, Rich, caused me to get off of my discipline and commitment of meeting with him and continuing to be empowered. Well, I made a commitment that on Mondays, I'm going to reconnect with him and continue down the journey of empowerment, because that empowerment, again, transcends into every other area. And, I want to go to the next level. The minute that we find ourselves staying the same and not growing is the minute that, it's going to be very hard and difficult to accomplish the things, that we're called to accomplish. I mean, we should be growing every single day, like you just said, Rich, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, in relationships, in health, in finance. And it can be overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes I look at that, I say, wow, there are so many areas of my life, that I'm responsible for, so many things that I want to improve. And sometimes you can look at, it was like, I think the Israelites, man, when they were going into the promised land and they saw the giants, right? They backed. Sorry, someone called my phone, so it always cuts me off. But they were afraid to, to press on, But I think it was Joshua, right, and Caleb, who went and said they were going to take the land. And so I think that's how we need to look at things today. Is yes, there's going to be some giants in front of us. Yes, there's going to be some things that want to stand in the way and hold us back. But we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. It all starts with a commitment, and it all starts with a decision, backed up by discipline. So I want to encourage you guys today. I appreciate every single one of you. My prayer is that you guys go out and dominate today, dominate the week, and dominate your life, because you deserve the very best. And I want to encourage everybody to really, become the best version of you. And it's never too late, guys. It's never too late. So I'm making the commitment, in my own life, and I encourage you guys to do the same. And if there's anything that I can do to help and support you along the way, please let me know. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and go kick some butt. God bless you guys.
Thanks,